Barrio Logan is a small neighborhood southeast of downtown San Diego. It has a proud history of Latino activism, but if you walk the neighborhood, you'll notice people's homes tucked right in between warehouses, auto shops, even recycling plants. For 4 years now, city planners have been working on a rezoning plan to separate those kinds of businesses from people's homes. Joining me is Lara Gates, the San Diego city planner in charge of this process. Lara, nice to see you. This is part of a larger city effort to rewrite the Barrio Logan's community plan. Give us a sense for those who aren't familiar with what a community plan is and why Barrio Logan is getting one.
All right. Well, as part of a state-mandated effort, every city is required to have a general plan. And as part of a general plan, in larger cities, there are community plans that are part of that general plan and are also help to implement the vision, the goals, and the policies that are contained in the general plan. And typically that covers land use, mobility, urban design, economic prosperity, public facilities, historic preservation, many different types of elements that help guide the growth and development of a city.
And why is Barrio Logan getting a new one?
Well, in 2008, the city adopted a new general plan. The version prior to 2008 really focused on development in the greenfields communities of our city, so mostly out in Black Mountain Ranch and in the areas where we had no development. So up until 2008, that development really focused on the more suburban neighborhoods.
And I can only imagine really having a recycling plant next to my home being an uncomfortable situation. How is this rezoning plan going to separate homes and businesses?
Well, quickly, just going back to the 2008 general plan, we adopted a new type of growth strategy. It's called the City of Villages strategy. And that really focuses new development on and along transit corridors within the urbanized communities. And so that vision that was adopted as part of the City of Villages really is a primary focus of the Barrio Logan Community Plan update that was last adopted in 1978. Going to the issues associated with co-location, that's having an industrial use adjacent to or next to a residential use, one of the primary objectives of this community plan update that has been in process for 4 years is to separate those uses.
So the question is, how are they going to do that?
Well, currently the adopted regulations allow for a mixture of uses on the same parcel or adjacent, which includes residential, commercial, and industrial. The community plan is intending to separate those uses. So, for instance, south of 32nd Street, the community plan proposes to only have heavy industrial uses with a prime industrial overlay zone that's called out in the general plan. The area north of, let's say, the bridge, calls for a community village. There are some industrial land use designations in that area. Those would be removed, and those would be replaced with a mixture of uses that are compatible with each other, including residential and commercial, institutional, and office. So we're really trying to separate out those uses from one another. The area that's currently in contention is something called the transition zone. That's between Main and Harbor Drive.
And we only have 30 seconds. I know this hasn't gone without controversy and protest. How is the city compromising to deal with those concerns?
Well, we have two land use alternatives that are moving forward and will be studied equally in the environmental impact report, which should be out by the end of this year. So we're looking at two different types of alternatives, one that has more community commercial serving uses, and the other, alternative two, which focuses more on the maritime-oriented commercial and industrial uses within that transition zone.
Thank you, Lara.
Thank you.
Lara Gates.